There is a real reason why this topic makes many people uncomfortable. It is not because it offends women, it is because it breaks a comfortable illusion that keeps many men trying to gain attraction in the wrong way. For a long time, people were taught that attraction is mainly about words, morals, or equal effort. In reality, attraction works much deeper than that. It is rooted in the brain, it is adaptive, and it is selective. Many men try to negotiate interest using intention, effort, and long explanations, but the female brain responds first to signals that do not ask for permission to exist. These signals are felt before they are explained. When researchers studied attraction at the brain level, they found something very important. Attraction is not controlled by one single system. It is guided by three different systems that work in their own way. The first system is physical desire. The second system is romantic focus. The third system is emotional bonding. Each system has its own chemistry, its own timing, and its own purpose. Problems begin when a man tries to activate all three at the same time. The brain does not work like that. When these systems are pushed together too early, they cancel each other out. Instead of creating attraction, they quietly turn it off. Another common mistake is believing that attraction is a fully conscious choice. Many men think a woman carefully evaluates options like filling out a form. In reality, attraction is a response, not a calculation. The body reacts before the mind explains. Posture rhythm, emotional stability, and controlled unpredictability are noticed instantly. The explanation always comes later. The mind simply creates a story to justify what the body already felt. This is why listening only to what people say they want can be misleading. Words, values, and preferences matter, but they come after the reaction. If you ignore body language changes in energy and behavior shifts, you are playing a game that does not exist. Attraction does not respond to arguments. It responds to activation. This subject feels uncomfortable because it removes comforting stories. Being nice does not create attraction. Explaining yourself does not create chemistry. Investing emotionally too early creates safety without excitement. When you truly understand this, something shifts inside you. You stop chasing validation. You stop trying to be chosen. You start focusing on presence and behavior that naturally awakens interest. One of the biggest silent errors is confusing emotional closeness with desire. Many men believe that listening more, being available, and offering constant support will build attraction. What it actually builds is comfort. Comfort is not excitement. When you move too close before tension exists, the brain places you in a safe, predictable category. Once that happens, desire has no space to grow. The brain separates bonding and desire very clearly. Bonding creates calm and familiarity. Desire creates energy and movement. When bonding is triggered too early, it reduces the spark. You become a safe place before you become a stimulus. Desire does not grow in safe places. It grows where there is movement, curiosity, and light uncertainty. This is why a woman can feel emotionally connected to a man and still feel no attraction. Connection is not chemistry, care is not desire. Trying to fix this by giving even more emotionally only strengthens the wrong signal. The body does not negotiate. It reacts to what stimulates it. Research has shown that when bonding systems are activated too soon, they reduce desire signals. In simple terms, the brain chooses one system at a time. When the wrong one is activated first, the other becomes quiet. This is why timing matters so much. The practical lesson here is emotional control. Stop over-investing before attraction exists. Focus on calm presence, light challenge, and a rhythm that allows curiosity to grow. Simple humor. Clear boundaries, pauses, and self-control keep desire active. Bonding comes later when attraction already exists. Reversing this order quietly turns interest off. Many men feel frustrated because they try to create closeness before chemistry. They try to offer safety before stimulation. They try to be chosen before being desired. The brain does not work in that order. Attraction begins first. Bonding follows later. Another misunderstood area is testing behavior. Tests rarely come as direct confrontation. They show up as silence delays, mood shifts, or light teasing. Many men take these moments personally and try to fix the situation. They explain, apologize, or rush to restore comfort. This reaction is natural but damaging. These moments are not meant to be solved. They exist to reveal emotional stability. The brain is observing how a man handles mild pressure, uncertainty, and delay. Calm responses, light humor, or relaxed silence communicate strength. Emotional overreaction communicates insecurity. When you remain steady, something changes. Tension reorganizes instead of disappearing. Control is no longer forced. It is given. The brain associates calm under pressure with capability and leadership. Attraction responds to that signal automatically. Another comforting belief that holds many men back is the idea that effort, intention, and good character can convince attraction. Attraction is not a debate, it is a reaction. When you try to reason with it, the moment has already passed. The brain processes attraction quickly and automatically. The rational mind arrives later to explain it. Long explanations, requests for clarity, or attempts to convince arrive too late. The response already happened. This changes everything. Instead of trying to persuade you, focus on creating response. Grounded presence, steady rhythm, emotional control, and light unpredictability create real attraction. The body decides before the mind. When you understand this, you stop wasting energy trying to be approved and start behaving in ways that naturally awaken interest. Another modern confusion is the idea that full transparency and constant explanation create connection. Talking too much about intentions, explaining choices, and seeking understanding reduces attraction. Desire does not look for complete clarity, it looks for contrast and space. When everything is explained, nothing is left to feel. Mystery keeps the reward system active. Studies show that people who over-explain are seen as less grounded, not because they lack value, but because they give it away too easily. The lesson is simple. Speak less about yourself. Let actions, rhythm, and boundaries tell the story. When you stop trying to be understood and start holding your position, the dynamic shifts. Value is felt, not negotiated. At the root of many struggles is one silent inversion. The man places himself as a candidate and the woman as the prize. He adjusts, seeks approval, and waits for signals. This seems logical, but it lowers value. Attraction responds to self-direction, not permission-seeking. When emotional control, stability, and presence come together, attraction rises naturally. It is not a conscious decision, it is a biological reading. Rhythm, posture, silence, boundaries, and lack of urgency speak louder than words. True self-control is not coldness. It is inner regulation. It is staying steady during uncertainty. This creates safety without killing stimulation. When safety and stimulation exist together, attraction can last. Research shows that emotional self-control is one of the strongest predictors of lasting attraction. Not because of morality, but because the brain associates self-regulation with the ability to lead one's own life. When you control your pace, your emotions, and your investment, the dynamic adjusts on its own. Attraction does not need to be chased. It responds to the man who does not abandon himself to be chosen. Attraction is not built through effort or correct words. It grows from psychological awareness, emotional control, and signals that the unconscious recognizes before logic speaks. This is where real change happens. When a man truly understands how attraction works at the brain level, his entire approach changes. He stops reacting emotionally to every signal. He stops trying to control outcomes. He learns to stay centered even when things feel uncertain. This inner stability is felt before it is understood. The body reads it instantly. Many men believe attraction grows through constant availability. They reply fast, they adjust plans, they prioritize the other person early. They think this shows interest and seriousness. What it often shows is loss of balance. Attraction responds to balance, not sacrifice. When you slow your rhythm, something important happens. The interaction breathes. Space creates curiosity. Curiosity keeps the reward system active. When everything is immediate, nothing is valued. When access is controlled, attention increases. Another misunderstood point is emotional expression. Sharing emotions is healthy, but timing matters. When emotions are expressed too early, they replace mystery with predictability. Predictability feels safe, but safety alone does not create attraction. There must be movement, tension, and contrast. The brain looks for signals of direction. Direction does not mean control over others. It means control over yourself. A man who can sit with uncertainty without collapsing sends a powerful signal. Calm under pressure is read as strength. This is why silence can be more powerful than explanation. Silence that is calm communicates confidence. Silence driven by fear communicates insecurity. The difference is internal, not external. The brain can feel the difference. Many men rush to clarify situations. They want labels, certainty, and reassurance. They ask where things are going too soon. This pressure forces the brain into evaluation mode instead of attraction mode. Evaluation cools desire. Attraction lives in the present moment. Evaluation lives in the future. When you pull focus too early toward outcomes, you remove the energy from the now. Desire fades quietly. Another common error is over-adapting. Changing opinions, preferences, and behavior to match the other person feels polite. It also signals lack of core identity. Attraction responds to someone who stands on his own ground. Disagreement, when calm and respectful, can increase attraction. It shows independence. It shows confidence. Agreement driven by fear of loss reduces value. The brain reads this instinctively. Boundaries are another key signal. Boundaries are not walls. They are limits that protect self-respect. When you say no calmly, you show that your time and energy matter. This raises perceived value. Many men confuse kindness with self-removal. Kindness without boundaries becomes submission. Attraction does not grow toward submission. It grows toward mutual respect. Another powerful element is emotional pacing. Not every message needs a response. Not every moment needs to be filled. Pauses allow tension to form. Tension keeps interest alive. This does not mean playing games. It means living your life fully. When your focus is not locked onto one outcome, your energy changes. That energy is felt. The brain is sensitive to urgency. Urgency signals lack. Calm signals abundance. Abundance does not mean many options. It means inner fullness. You are complete whether the interaction continues or not. When a man reaches this state, he becomes less reactive. Tests lose their power. Delays no longer create anxiety. Mood shifts are observed, not absorbed. This emotional independence is deeply attractive. Many people talk about confidence but confuse it with loud behavior. Real confidence is quiet. It does not seek approval. It does not explain itself. It simply exists. This is why trying to prove worth never works. Proof is asked for only when value is doubted. When value is felt, proof is unnecessary. Another illusion is that attraction must be maintained through constant effort. In reality, attraction is maintained through consistency of self. When you remain aligned with your values, rhythm, and boundaries, attraction stabilizes naturally. Inconsistency, driven by fear, breaks attraction faster than mistakes. A mistake owned calmly is less damaging than perfection driven by anxiety. The brain trusts what is stable. Stability does not mean boring. It means emotionally predictable while behavior remains engaging. Playfulness also plays a role. Light humor reduces pressure. It keeps interactions human. Seriousness too early creates weight. Weight suffocates desire. The goal is not to control the other person. The goal is to regulate yourself. When you do that, the dynamic adjusts on its own. When you stop chasing outcomes, you become more present. Presence is felt. Presence is rare. Presence attracts. This understanding frees you. You no longer measure every reaction. You no longer fear silence. You no longer rush to fix uncertainty. You allow things to unfold. Attraction grows best when it is not forced. It responds to authenticity, emotional strength, and grounded behavior. When you live this way, you notice a shift. Interactions feel lighter. You feel more relaxed. The pressure disappears. This is not a technique. It is a way of being, and once it becomes natural, attraction no longer feels confusing. At this stage, the most important shift happens internally. A man stops measuring his worth through reactions. He no longer waits for signals to decide how he should feel. His emotional state comes from within, not from approval. This inner grounding changes how every interaction feels. There is less tension in his body, his voice slows naturally, his movements become relaxed. These signals are subtle but powerful. The brain notices them immediately. Many men believe attraction is created by doing more talking, more explaining, more effort. In reality, attraction often grows when unnecessary actions are removed. Less noise creates more clarity. When you stop filling every silence, the moment becomes richer. Silence allows feelings to surface. When you rush to speak, you interrupt that process. Calm silence shows confidence and patience. Another key point is outcome independence. This does not mean lack of interest. It means you are okay whether things continue or not. This mindset removes pressure from the interaction. Pressure is one of the fastest ways to weaken attraction. Outcome. Independence creates ease. Ease allows authenticity. Authentic behavior feels natural and unforced. The brain responds better to what feels real than to what feels rehearsed. Many men struggle with letting go of control. They want certainty early. They want reassurance. But attraction needs space to grow. Space cannot exist when control is forced. Trusting the process does not mean being passive. It means staying present while allowing things to unfold at their own pace. You guide through behavior, not through demands. Consistency is another major signal. Being emotionally consistent creates safety. Safety, combined with presence, supports attraction over time. Emotional swings driven by fear weaken trust. This is why self-care matters. When your life is balanced, your reactions soften. Sleep. Health, purpose, and personal goals all affect emotional regulation. Attraction is influenced by how you live, not just how you speak. When your world is full, you do not cling. Clinging is felt instantly. Fullness is also felt instantly. The brain prefers fullness. Another mistake is seeking constant validation. Compliments, attention, and reassurance feel good, but relying on them creates dependence. Dependence reduces perceived strength. Validation is best received, not requested. When you are comfortable without it, others offer it naturally. A grounded man listens without losing himself. He is present without dissolving his identity. He connects without abandoning direction. This balance creates respect. Respect supports attraction far more than pleasing behavior. Attraction grows when two individuals meet, not when one disappears into the other. Maintaining self-respect is essential. As this becomes natural, interactions stop feeling like tests. You no longer analyze every message. You no longer overthink delays. You trust your stability. This calm confidence changes how people respond to you. Conversations flow more easily. Reactions feel warmer. Resistance softens. You also become better at walking away when alignment is missing. Walking away calmly is one of the strongest signals of self-respect. Attraction is not about convincing someone to choose you. It is about showing who you are and allowing alignment to happen naturally. When alignment exists, attraction flows without force. When it does not, forcing it only creates frustration. Understanding this saves time, energy, and emotional strain. You stop investing where interest is not mutual. This clarity brings peace. Peace improves presence. Presence improves attraction. In the end, attraction is a response to how you carry yourself emotionally. Words matter less than state. Intention matters less than regulation. When your inner world is stable, your outer interactions reflect it. That stability is rare, and rarity attracts. This is not about perfection. It is about consistency, honesty, and emotional maturity. When these qualities come together, attraction becomes simple. It no longer feels mysterious or painful. It feels natural. The final idea is simple. Attraction reflects how you treat yourself. When you respect your time, emotions, and direction, others feel it naturally. A grounded man does not rush connections. He allows interest to grow on its own. He does not force depth or clarity. This patience creates calm strength. Fear of loss makes people overtry. Overtrying feels heavy. Attraction responds to lightness. Lightness comes from inner security. Accepting uncertainty is important. Attraction always includes uncertainty. Trying to remove it removes excitement. Learning to stay calm within it builds confidence. Steadiness is attractive because it shows maturity. Maturity creates trust. Trust allows attraction to grow instead of fading. This does not mean ignoring feelings. It means responding calmly instead of reacting emotionally. Calm responses show self-control. When a man controls himself, he does not try to control others. He focuses on his own behavior and energy. This simplifies everything. Attraction grows where there is freedom, not pressure. Calm presence protects that freedom. In the end, attraction is not forced. It appears naturally when you are emotionally stable, present, and complete. When you stop chasing and start choosing, everything changes.